Hello and welcome back to the OnlyAccies channel. It's finished here. Hamilton won, Aberdeen won. It was a poor first half performance, but it was helped in the second half. Marius Ogdenpo getting his first goal in a while. Gentlemen, how are we all tonight?
Good.
Yeah.
Better.
Better. What did you make of tonight's game? I've just said there it was a bad first half performance and an improved one in the second half. Do you agree with that?
Aye, pretty much. First half, you're just sort of, you see the team and it was backs to the wall really. You were just typical and everybody was all doom and gloom as per usual, but I don't think we were expecting us to come out and get that sort of second half performance. It was much better. Aberdeen weren't exactly special the second half. They were a couple of players missing, but nevertheless it's miles ahead of what we've been the past couple of weeks, so you can't really complain in that department, and I am happy with the point.
Yeah, Marius Ogdenpo obviously getting his the equaliser today and his first goal for a good few weeks. Ewan, what did you make of Marius tonight?
I thought Marius, he's ran his arse into the ground basically. I thought he led the line as well as he could. Considering all he's getting is pumped big long balls all day long. Because we miss out the midfield, as everybody knows, because we don't have one. Let's be honest, we pump the balls up. But he chases down, he chases hard, but he still, to me, looks unfit compared to the Marius Ogdenpo, I would say, when he was playing well last season. He just looks unfit for this level at the moment. Whether they can get him fitter, I don't know what's going on. But again, I thought he was better tonight than I've seen him before, though.
On the Oggy note, sorry, just to jump in there, Ben. When I get subbed, I noticed that Rice didn't even acknowledge him, and there seemed to be a sort of argument with him and George Cairns happening, and then he went straight down the tunnel. So I don't know if he looked a bit pissed off at the fact he's been subbed off, because fair enough, he was running himself into the ground, and he does look a bit unfit, but he's not got much to work with. They're just big hoof balls up. So I think something's obviously went on there. So God knows if we'll hear anything about that, but it didn't look too good when he was going off.
Did something no happen on Saturday in the United game? Did one of the subs no have a spat or something, just walked in the tunnel without saying anything?
I think Callahan at the end of the game, I just didn't even look at Rice and just walked in. So I think that adds to the sort of speculation way that he's sort of lost his dressing room and they're no sort of playing for him as such, which I think we'd all agree certainly looks the case. But second half, no, we looked good. We looked much better.
I think the thing I took from tonight a little bit better was the fact that he's picked the same team for the second game running. Now, you might not all agree, which I'm still not a fan of the right back, but maybe we've not got the players to fill in. Like say, we missed McGowan for last year, for instance. But in saying that, if we can build on that, and select the same team, and no mess about with it like he's been doing, like the old selection bingo, it might actually be a positive. Although we all know there's lots of things wrong with the team, But as I say, that was something tonight. That's the first time he's picked the same team consecutively for a long time, So I think that's something to be considered,
I know that's the first time we've kept the same team since we beat Rangers and Kilmarnock. I think you're 100% right. A bit of stability does you a world of good.
It's only 2 games, mind you, but it's a start.
I know, it's definitely a start. And even if it's just a couple of changes here and there, but we've saw in previous games where it's complete changes that change the team massively. So even if he kept that team and maybe, let's say, takes Stirling out and brings Hamilton in and makes the slight adjustments, that's what you're sort of looking for, the sort of stability, and we've not had that in a long time. And no, I totally agree with it, keeping the same team. Although I don't agree with some of the players, it does show that it can sort of bide the ship as such.
How do you think the new guy Martin went tonight? I think he was half decent,
He was definitely up there for my man of the match. I thought he defended really, really well. Much better than he did against Dundee United, I would say. He dealt with Sam Cosgrove. Best performance I've seen him so far. I know he's only played 3 games or something, but
sometimes in that position, I think you need somebody to have a game where you don't really notice them, but they're doing the right thing. Whereas if somebody's having a bad game, you'll notice them in that position. Let's face it, we've seen quite a few this season. So You know, it's early days with him as well, but as I say, it looks encouraging to some degree, you know.
I thought the effort put in by the two Martins, Aaron and
Definitely.
Scott's had a tough season as well.
He's not got much finesse about him, but just his general work rate and his tackling and tenaciousness, I thought it was good tonight for the full 90. Do you know what I mean? Even the first half when we were up against it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He was my man of the match.
We're going into games and we're just, I would say tonight and Saturday to start, we're going in as if we're a lower league team and we're playing against the big boys. And we shouldn't be like that. We should be going in and trying to, especially home game, against a depleted Aberdeen team. We should be getting on the front foot today. Get out the front foot tonight. We came out in the back foot and we created absolutely nothing, obviously, first half. We didn't even have a shot on goal in the first half. Joe Lewis didn't even need to turn up. You know what I mean? But give him his due at half time. He must have he's changed it and he said something. Or either Aberdeen have come out and thought this is going to be easy and we don't even need to try. But
both.
You've got to say, look, you give him plaudits tonight because the second half was a lot better. You know what I mean? And we could have snatched it at the end there with that shot, but the keeper made a good save. So fair play for the second half tonight.
They've came out that way in the second half, so why can they not start the game like that?
That's
my personal opinion is Aberdeen didn't look anything spectacular both halves. They certainly looked a little bit worse the second half, but there was no reason we couldn't start the game like that. I totally agree with you. We're coming into these games acting like the opposition were playing a far superior to what we are, and apart from Rangers and Celtic, the standard of the league this year is absolute honking, so we don't need to be giving other teams this sort of I don't know what is the right word for it.
Respect.
Respect. We don't need to be giving them this much respect, but I suppose with the fact that we've been getting absolutely pumped until the past sort of week, it does show that we are sort of making, hopefully, some sort of progress.
I disagree there, Brandon. See, I never watched Saturday's game at all, but getting beat with Dundee United have hardly scored their season. Getting beat with them was just, I think we'd been as well get up getting beat 4-0 rather than just. I just don't see it as progress, to be honest.
I know what you mean. Dundee United, they weren't anything special. Again, they were easily there for the taking. By progress, it's maybe a stupid word because I'm maybe going into Brian Rice's favour with that sort of word. Just less embarrassed is probably the best word wording for it. It's no progress as such, but at least we're not getting pumped and embarrassed. But it is sort of working in his favour. I think the worst thing that's came out of that, and I think quite a lot of Accies fans are the same, that they're sort of hoping, and it's no nice to say that you're hoping not to win so that your manager can go. And I think quite a lot of people are on that boat.
It'll still not happen.
It'll still not happen. No.
Still not happen. I think we could lose the next 3 games 5-6-0, and he'll still be there.
Yeah, totally agree.
I agree. And Dougie, you obviously mentioned that you didn't watch Saturday's game tonight. No. Now, obviously, that's your choice. You don't want to watch this stuff at the moment. I don't think MD really wants to watch it. But why is that? Why are you choosing not to watch these games?
Well, I feel this is the lowest we've been, and I've been supporting Accies for about 38 years now. I don't think I was there when it was like the 3rd division, when we get the 15 points, voted and everything. But now I feel as if we're not trying, and I think the board I'm not saying they've given up, but they're not interested in the football side. So I thought to myself, why should I be interested paying the money and watching the telly? So I decided against it.
Yeah, and I don't blame you. We said in the podcast that me and Brandon, it sounds horrible to say now, but we don't like watching the team right now. And along with many other Accies fans are with you. So I don't blame you for not watching the games at all, man. I don't think MD does.
Just on that point there, I was just looked at some of the pages there, just going on about Aberdeen. The Aberdeen fans are actually, they're calling for McInnes's head tonight. because I'm that embarrassed.
No wonder.
2 points against us.
Uh,
Can we not do a managerial swap?
We'll do that right now. Take it in a minute.
Yes, absolutely. Now, there was a few mentions during the game of an event coming up for Hamilton. I think the final score...
I think I must have missed that.
You missed it. I'll fill you in. I think the final score was Hamilton 1, Pantomime Mentions 5 during the game.
Oh, no, there wasn't.
It kind of follows on from what you were saying, Dougie, is do the board care about the football inside at the moment?
They seem to be... I'm not saying what they're doing is bad, but they seem to be publicising events out with the football club 20, 30 times more than they are the actual football games itself. Why not be advertising for the live streaming better? I mean, they seem to be putting it out on all social media platforms about the events coming up. I don't think it's right, to be honest.
I think you've got to split the board into two, really, haven't you? You've got the football people and you've got the non-football people. And the non-football people, who we all know who they are, I believe, are the Panto people, right? I don't think Ronnie and Alan Maitland would be real interested in promoting a Panto, you know. That's my own view anyway. I could be wrong. But I was watching the feed tonight, and every time they mentioned the Panto, me and my two boys watching the game, we're just shaking our heads. What is this? You didn't pay £15 to listen to adverts about Pantos. I'm sorry.
It's cringe-worthy. Considering the position we're in, it's cringe-worthy.
Yeah.
It's just you don't understand it. Me and Ben have touched on it a few times, and it's not even just the pantomime. It's the things they're advertising. It completely contradicts what their whole charity's for. Blameless is for addiction and stuff like that. Yet you've got an advert at half-time for Scottish whiskey auctions. Do you know what I mean? They're just completely contradicting it. And on the note of the advertising the pantomime, reading that article where he's saying blood, sweat and tears have went into this pantomime. Who the fuck who gives a fuck? Blood, sweat and tears should be going into the Fitbit team. And does that happen? No. I know what you're saying about the split in half with people who are sort of football people and pantomime people, but the way it looks with the advertising for all the panto people, it certainly seems that the panto people have got much more of a say in the football than the non-footballing people.
The football side of that stadium is secondary compared to everyone else, or even third. It's not the top priority of that stadium.
Yeah,
that's it.
And it's turning out second rate. So that's the problem. I feel now that going back to the old days where it was the stadium company and the football club, and then we were told that they were all one together. Now it just feels like two separate entities now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we'll end it just looking on to our next game. Obviously, it's not this weekend for the Betfred Cup. Saturday the 5th, we're at home to Kilmarnock. Aside to, we said last time, you would look to be taking points off of there. I don't want to sound like Brian Rice, but is that second half performance something hopefully we can build on?
Yes, but we need to start on the front foot. We can't go out with the mentality where we're just going to try and grimly hold on or see what we can get out of this. We've got to go on the front foot and try and attack instead of just humping long balls as well. It's so trudgy to watch. It's absolute, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're bored out your skull watching if you to watch that 90 minutes. No, if the Accies are actually lucky we're not allowed in the stadium because no fans would be there. It would be absolutely empty.
Aye, that's true.
It's working in their favour. It's working in their favour massively. The fact we're not here, it is. It's the disinterest in the fans is just, as you said, Dougie. It's the worst it probably ever been. It's certainly the worst it's been in my lifetime. And it was. I really grudged paying that £15 a day. I only done it because I get paid today and I would have been doing fuck all else. Even on Saturday I didn't pay for it, and that's not like me at all. I was just watching it via Ben's Twitter pretty much, and going with what he says. On the game this coming Saturday, I think it'll be back to what we're used to. I think we'll get absolutely pumped because we'll go with the exact same team, and we'll offer nothing, and Kilmarnock will know that we're going to offer nothing, and they'll exploit that. I think we'll be back to square one again, because he thinks that this is suitable, and I think somebody touched on it. It's like the end of the sort of Cannon and Billy Reid era. It's just when eventually it will end, and they'll just try to do as utmost as possible to sort of prolong that, and I think that's what he's doing now, making it as gruesome, grim to watch, but scraping by the barrel to prolong how long he'll be here.
I reckon when maybe January, February, when they do let crowds back in, I think it's going to be even more embarrassing than it normally is. To see 500 home fans at maximum, if they carry on the way they're going, people they're losing interest, as you say, Brandon. You know, it's I personally don't think there's any way back for us this season. We've picked a point up tonight. We're now 3 points behind St Mirren.
Yep.
They've got a game in hand. Two, sorry.
Games in hand over us, which is, I think this is us. We're away this season.
If they make a change, but they're not going to. But
well, that's a good way to end it. I'll go around each of you. Colin, do you think this is the season?
I'm afraid. I hope not, but I'm afraid all things are pointing to that. And as I say, considering what we've been through the last 7 seasons, you know, this is the worst out of the 7. Mm-hmm. So it's all pointing to that. I hope not, as I said, but it's pointing that way to me. I have to agree with Dougie.
Yeah, I think this is definitely our season. We've rode a luck a couple of seasons previously, but this is definitely our season to go. I don't see any way out of this, especially the team, the squad of players we have and the management team. There's no way out of this in my eyes.
Well, lads, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I really, really do appreciate it. And hopefully I'll get to speak to you again later on in the season.
From yesterday, I feel like I'll never